Okay, so I'm back in another race at VIR in the Pcup, starting P15. Right off the bat, I'm looking to make a few moves, ideally on the Lightning McQueen car, that's to my left. But because of the line I get, not super great braking, and the way the pink car went through, me and Lightning McQueen car are still side by side. This next corner is pretty hard to take side by side. So I'm just trying to stay a little wide because I know Lightning McQueen is behind me. He makes contact with the pink car. There's a car going off right behind us. And then I am able to just slot right behind Lightning McQueen car going into the S's. And out of that corner, I don't get a great run. I cut the grass just a little bit. No off track or slow down, though, for that occasion. Appears like I'm gaining just a little time on the car in front. Just trying to form a gap behind. The pink car is already he's still in front of Lightning McQueen car, but I'd like to end up passing both of them. Although this is the first lap, and VIR is a very technical track because there's a lot of opportunities if you can drive it better than people in front of you to pass them. Mostly on the long straightaways. And it looks like I'm about to get a pretty good run on Lightning McQueen. However, I'm just a little bit too far back to be able to make anything actually work. Then coming into roller coaster, there's a car in front, went off. Two actually. Cut the corner. I end up making one overtake on car number 20. But then he comes back, almost passes me. We make contact, and then I'm able to just get in front of him. Now my main target is Lightning McQueen car. Lightning McQueen car is now 7/10 in front of me. He's fighting with the car in front of him, car number 1. I'm now in P10, so I gained 5 positions off the first lap. Car number 10 locks up, goes off track. Pink car and Rexy follow him. So now I just gained 3 positions in one corner. That's always very, very nice, and VAR is just a track where that tends to happen a lot. Then now, it's about 8/10 of actual pace to Lightning McQueen car in front, and then there's another incident, so I pick up another position. Then there's still 4/10 the car behind, so he's still right behind me. So I'd really want to keep him behind and just keep gaining on the car in front. I do believe I have more pace than Lightning McQueen car. That hopefully I should be able to pass him. I get a better run through that corner. Then coming up into the Oak Tree corner complex, almost have a look at an overtake on Lightning McQueen car, but he just has a little more speed. I don't get the greatest exit out of Oak Tree, so I do lose just a little bit of time there, but I'm still in slipstream of the car in front. And the car behind me is also in my slipstream, so there's not too much gaining I can actually do. I just have to hope that an overtake isn't attempted on me, because this corner is very hard to pass in, or pass cleanly at least. You can ship moves through it, but it's very, very, very risky, because just one slight change in line, and then you're both going to be in the runoff. And then this race is not my greatest pace, but throughout the rest of the races I do end up gaining a slight bit of pace. Not the greatest, but still some. So looking into turn 1 to make an overtake in Lightning McQueen car, go down the inside, make it work. He gets shuffled with the car behind. Car behind turns him. That kind of just bunches that pack behind up and gives me a nice little gap to the cars behind. So just jumping on the final lap, because nothing else happened. I haven't gained a single position. And now there's 13 seconds to the car in front. About 2.5 to 3 to the car behind. I really just, throughout that entire race, just kept my pace up. And you can see my fastest lap was a 49.3. So that's not, and you can see by far that's not the fastest pace. There are cars saying low 48s and even high 47s, which in the strength of fields I'm in, which at this time was about 1800, I believe. Something around 1800. That's just pretty quick. like, I didn't get the greatest qualifying in that race by any means. It did not go well at all. There were a few corners where I just like to spin off or just slightly overdrive the corners because this track is just pretty difficult to drive well. And then the gap to the car behind has just slightly increased to 3.4. So he's not really a threat at all to me. Coming to roller coaster, I get a pretty good run through it. That's actually very helpful in keeping the gap because I have had gaps close a lot through that corner if you don't do it right. But coming on the final corner, I'm able to just keep good pace and consistency. That's all VIR is about, is as long as you have a decent pace and can run consistent, clean laps, you should be all right. And I did end up actually picking up a 4X for Light McQueen car getting turned behind me, probably because he got shuffled. But I finished with gained a 69i rating and 0.18 safety rating. So throughout this week, the safety rating goes up and down a lot, but that doesn't really matter too much. And I'm in about 1,700 strength field, actually, with average lap time of 48.9. So not super great, but pretty decent at the time. Then on to race number 2. I'm starting P14. Again, not a great qualifying. Then immediately make a position off start. Looking for another one. I don't quite get it because I didn't have enough room to be able to slide over. You know, it probably would have worked. And then I'm overtaken again through turn 1. So I'm not really too sure that I actually gained any positions off that. But then they're too wide up in front. This usually doesn't go very well. There's a car next to me that's slowed down a lot, but I still try to leave him a little room because it's really easy to make contact through that corner without intending to. And then coming out of the S's in P12 now, trying to gain on the car in front, about 6/10 down, with the car behind me about 2.1 seconds behind. And I'm actually able to gain a lot through that corner. Then coming in the oak tree, first part of oak tree, I look for a move down the inside and then end up making it. So now clear into P11. Car about half a second in front, half a second behind. And just on this back straightaway, trying to make as much time up as possible, trying to stay in the slipstream of the car in front. Then coming up to a roller coaster, it looks like there are a lot of cars in front that are fighting with each other, which is good because that will slow them down a lot. I end up gaining a lot in the car in front, and the car behind seems like he's lost just a little bit of time to me. And coming out of the final corner, I do get a way better exit in the car in front. The car in front goes wide, able to pass him on the front stretch. Now, P10. So there's about 1.3 or to 1.5 seconds to the cars in front, but there is a giant group of them, so I know there will be some fighting. And the car behind is very close. He's right on my bumper. I see smoke in front, and there's a car stopped just before the wall, so he must have had a bad exit in the first part of the S's. Then coming in the second part of the S's, half a second down the car in front, and about the same gap to the car behind. And then upcoming the S's, I seem like you got a pretty good run up into it. Then coming out of that corner into the downhill, I gain even more in the car in front. Trying to look for something into Oak Tree. Almost have a move, but the car in front just slightly gets a better run. But I'm right on his tail and should have enough slipstream to be able to try to pass him into Oak Tree, or into roller coaster. But I'm not quite close enough to make any move, or make any realistic move on him. And then coming onto the front stretch, still just barely behind car number 4. And it seems like I might be building a gap with the car behind just a little bit. He might become under pressure. I try to make a move. I just locked up coming into turn 1. Just make slight contact with car 4. It's unfortunate. Now I'm back down P11. So I only lost a couple positions. It's just really frustrating that happens. But now I do have the rest of the race to at least try to make something up. And then we'll just skip ahead to the final lap. I only gained 2 positions. And they weren't particularly interesting. They weren't really any skillful overtakes. It was really just cars in front crashed. Then I do have a car right behind me. I really would like to keep him behind me. Because if he can stay that close onto either the back stretch or the front stretch, then he'll have a pretty easy shot at passing me before the finish line. I really would like to stay in P9 because top 10 finish would be pretty good. There is a large group of cars in front that are all fighting with each other, but they're too far ahead to really make any difference to me. So all I would need is for them to wreck each other or something, but that doesn't really happen. There's a little smoke of a lockup, but I don't think any cars actually went off. Or if they did, I didn't gain advantage off it. And the car behind is still 5/10 down. But it appears that I did end up getting through the final corner. Just a little bit better run on him. So he's not able to actually be able to draft off me to pass. So, finished the race in P9. And then I gained just a little bit of safety rating, 28i rating. So now I'm even closer to 1900. And the strength field, as you can see, has gone up a lot more. Average lap time has gone up, but just barely. And actually in second split, which I thought was a little surprising, but I'm starting to get up there. And on to the final race, I start in P18. Awful qualifying. I ended up getting up to P17 because the car didn't actually start in front of me. He just skipped out on the race. Then making a couple overtakes before turn 1, or at least attempting to make an overtake. There's 3 wide into turn 1. Doesn't usually end well at all. Then they're almost 3 wide in front of me too. This corner usually does not work at all. 2 wide, but we make it work. You just got to leave enough room. Then there's a couple cars diving down the inside of the next corner. But I'm able to get a somewhat decent run on them, and then we kind of just make contact coming into the just before the S's. Then I end up cutting the corner, getting a. I think I actually did get a slowdown for that and an off track, but unfortunate. It just happens in that corner a lot. Then the second part of the S's, there's a lot of cars in front, and then I get overtaken in the middle of the S's. The car in front gets shoved off. And keep a note on car 22 there. He started in, I think, like P20, or maybe even farther back than that. He started in almost just complete back of the field and has already made his way up. And I do end up passing him again. And passing another car that was in front of me. But just have to commend car 22 for being very, very quick. I have some theories about car 22 because he ends up setting top split like times close to the end of the race. I think it might be a second account based off the 2 in his name. And then in a roller coaster, 2 cars in front crash into each other, taking themselves out of contention for anything. So I'm able to get past them pretty easily. 2.6 seconds the car in front and only about half a second the car behind me. So I really need to just keep pace up and try not to let him pass. Then coming onto lap 2, I just had 49.9, so not a very good time at all. But ends up just being all right. Then another car in front gets spun off, so I'm up into P10 at this point, and still about half a second to car 22 behind. And I don't think throughout this entire time he was behind me that car number 22 was farther back than really a second at all. He was a very, very, very quick driver. He only maybe got down just because of slight mistakes, but I don't really think he made any. Probably one of the fastest drivers I've ever seen in Pcup. Or at least consistent. He was very consistent. Then there's a car in front of me that got pushed off into Oak Tree. He ends up rejoining right in front of me. It was actually a pretty decent rejoin, pretty safe. But now that drew the pack in front closer to me. So there's 6/10 the car in front, but 22 is side by side with me at this point. And I have learned my lesson from past races where we make contact in the back straightaway because it's sometimes difficult to see. But car 22 backs out into roller coaster because it's not very realistic to try to make a move into that unless you're already ahead through the braking zone. Because if you're behind in the braking zone, there's almost no way to make a clean move on somebody. Now the final corner, I do gain a little bit of a run on car number 16. He is damaged, so that could play just a little bit of effect on how I caught him. Then you see up in turn 1, there are two cars that are going too wide with each other. Then we can go to lap number 6. So I do end up gaining a couple more positions. Just based off wrecks alone. This track and car combo is pretty deadly. All you gotta do is just try to survive. But notice, 22 is right back behind me. Then right before the S's, car 15 goes off the track. I end up passing him. Car 22 actually gets caught up behind him for a sec. And this is good for me because now I'm able to put a gap on him. And I really would like to stay in front, but 22 was able to pass the 15 because 22 just has better pace. And 22 also now has the fastest lap of the race of 48.03. And that's over a second faster than my fastest lap. Or it's not quite. It's about a second faster. So he's going very, very quick, and he's already right back behind me. And if he would get a good run at Oak Tree, he would have another chance of passing me through this next corner. And now I just see 2.4 seconds the car in front. There's not a good chance of me catching him right now. Then I just hear 22 right behind me. And then coming up in a roller coaster, he goes down the inside. Beautiful overtake. He made it work just fine because I just got off. If you notice someone's about to pass you like that, you probably should just brake a little early so they're able to make the move a little more comfortably. And then unfortunately, this is about the last time I saw car number 22 the entire rest of the race because he just has so incredible pace. I just never saw him again. Then on the final lap, I'm in P6 now. And there's a lot of time the car's in front and the car's behind. But you'll notice car 22 isn't on my relative anymore. And that's because he's now in P2. And he also just set a 47.01, which is very close to top split level times. And he's only 4 seconds behind the car in front. So realistically, he could have a chance at winning if he just keeps his pace up. Right now, all I want to do is just drive consistent and finish the race. Because I've had some issues late in the race where I just make silly little mistakes and just slide my car or spin or do something of the sort. Because this track, if you lose your focus, is kind of difficult to gain. And if you do notice how my safety rating is down more than it was the race before, that's because there was actually a race in between that one that didn't go very well safety rating wise. I had like 25 incident points almost. It was like 23. There was a car in there that was causing some issues. But I was able to gain I rating, so that's okay. And this actually doesn't end up being my final race of the week. I do end up doing one more, which gets me to almost 2,000 I rating. Almost. But that was just another like P5 or P6 finish in a race. I've noticed throughout VIR, I've been consistently about top 10, close to top 5. Which I guess just shows consistency, that as long as you're consistent on this track, it will pay off. And unfortunately, 22 is not able to win, but he ends up being 1.9 seconds behind the leader at the end of the race. So for that final race, I had done anything with the replay of. I gained 0.06 safety rating, which is fine. I'm just happy this number is above 2, because that's just good. Then 54 iRating. But now I'm about 50 more iRating above this. So I'd done a race after that I can show real quick. In this race, I did lose safety rating, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about safety rating at all. All I really care about is this number, the iRating. And this strength field is actually slower than the race before. But once again, now I'm in second split instead of third or fourth, which is pretty good. I'd like to obviously be up here a little more, but just above 2K iRating, I'd be able to get there pretty easily. And then this race, I finished P5. Didn't do super great, had a lot of incidents, but overall still drove well. And then that'll do it for this video of Road to 2K. This is probably going to be or hopefully should be the last, or one of the last ones in 2K, and now the journey to 2.5 or even 3 will begin at some point. Because ideally, all I need is one just decent race to be able to get above 2K, and then that'll be great. So just make sure to like and subscribe to see the rest. Thank you.